Use your inside voice. We have forgotten how to listen to our own inside voice, which is the voice of God. We have been programmed to listen to outside influences to tell us what is right, wrong, good, bad, true, or untrue. Have you ever invited the spirit of discernment of all wisdom and truth? Can you even recognize the truth if you heard it? Join Jeff as he walks us through what it feels to be confident about listening to our own voice and having the assurance to know what is true and accurate. Become your own fact checker. Jeff will clear all blocks and barriers that are getting in the way of us hearing our own divine guidance. So without further delay, thank you, Jeff.
All right, so the subject matter is very intriguing. So basically, we're going to work tonight to get you in touch with who you really are. And what I want to remind you of is some things I've said over and over again. It was part of my manumission workshops that we used to do in person. And I didn't print it out, but I'm going to read it out here off the screen. Modern slavery. The way to control someone is to steal their mind. You give them false maps of reality, fill their head with subliminal programming, encourage them with false fears, make them sick and tired. That is modern slavery. And as we've talked about in previous teachings, previous episodes, what they're trying to do is get our energy. The powers that be want our energy because we're that powerful. And if you can neuter a person's energy, their consciousness, they can't make the impact in the world that they came here to make. And this is very, very, very straightforward, very simple bottom line. We fight back through consciousness and frequency. You're not going to fight back in this world by electing the next criminal politician. You're not going to go and try to change the system. Years ago, I was even contemplating getting into politics. And a friend of mine, he didn't try to talk me out of it, but he said something. He said, somebody like you would just be consumed by the system. Why don't you stand outside and try to change it that way? And little did I know that's where my life was indeed heading. Trying to change the existing systems of control and manipulation is like joining the mafia and trying to convince the mafia that instead of making their money through prostitution, drugs, human trafficking, that we need to sell kittens. It's that obscene. And you know, deep down, there's no way you're going to change the mafia's mind to give up their primary means of control, their power, everything that they have, just to sell kittens. It just doesn't match. It's a mismatch. And so the current systems must come down. And they can't be morphed, they can't be changed, nor will they. And we're starting to see the cracks in the whole system on a global basis. So we fight back through consciousness and frequency. So we want to talk tonight about a more liberated life. More liberated life. You're in a world that's tough. You're in an environment that is set up against you. And not just you, but every human being on this planet. And you're set up to be harvested, your energy level. So what we want to do is be able to raise your discernment, your ability to tell truth from fiction. Like every now and then, just as an experiment, I'll turn on the news. And it doesn't matter which one. It can be CNN, it can be Fox, it can be MSNBC, it doesn't matter. And I'll just turn it on for a few seconds and watch it. And just my discernment is all over the place. It just boom, 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 boom. Everything I'm hearing, 90% of what I'm hearing is fake, phony, and false. That's true of articles I read in like the Drudge Report or what some of the other news site aggregators. Every now and then I'll go check those out. But we need to raise your discernment. And we also need to get you in touch with your divine guidance, And in this world, we have our most important guidance is our appropriate high self. And that sits above us on our central channel. And that is us in energetic form. That is the you that decided you were coming back into this world, and the time you were coming back into this world, and the form that you would take in this world, and some of the things that you decided that you were going to accomplish in this world, your appropriate high self. And that gets corrupted as well. Sometimes I find inappropriate high selves in people's fields, and that's never a good thing. And usually their lives have been torn apart, torn asunder, upside down. They can't get traction in the world. And that's because their divine guidance is wiped out. If you've got an inappropriate high self, it's giving you bad information and you're not able to discern things. So if you find yourself being taken advantage of on a regular basis, making the wrong decisions on a regular basis, one of the symptoms, those are some of the symptoms of an inappropriate high self. Okay. So tonight we're going to work on returning discernment and getting your divine guidance back online. Okay. You have your body, mind, field complex. You have your energy field. This is how you walk this earth. Inside of this, you have your physical, mental, emotional, spiritual bodies. But you are seeing the world through what I call unknowns. And unknowns, normally I would have had this on top of this, but I couldn't draw it appropriately. It wouldn't look right. So it's not this way. These unknowns are right here. But the unknowns are impacting your high self and are impacting your guides. We all have a series of guides that come with us. So guides will come and go in your life as you need. So if you're getting ready to do a big project, there might be a couple people or a couple of guides come in to help you out with that. And then when that's done, they might go on their merry way. Or if your whole life shifts and changes and you move to a whole nother level, sometimes they'll hang around and help you go to that next level. But sometimes a guide has never been in this world and doesn't understand what it is to be in a human body. Being in a human body is tough. It's tough because you got to deal with the stress and strain. You got to deal with things like aging. You got to deal with things like disease, all that kind of stuff. And if you've got a guide that's all gung-ho, but who's never occupied a human body, they might push you a little fast, a little hard. And so you need to take that with a grain of salt. And you'll get the feeling, you'll be able to discern if their advice is appropriate, not appropriate, et cetera, et cetera. There are certain things in this world. There are things we know. There's the things we know we don't know. And then there's what we don't know we don't know. The things we know, like the education we've had, if you're trained, if you're a doctor, if you're a lawyer, whatever your training is, that part of the world. And then there's things you don't know, right? So I know I'm not a brain surgeon. I know I'm not an auto mechanic. But I know how to get that handled. I know how to get those things addressed. But I know that I don't know how to do it, so I go find an expert to handle it. Okay. But then there's a thing you don't know that you don't know. You don't know. And that's what this is. They don't know. And that's what the unknowns are. When you feel angry, I want you to exercise. Full cardio workout. Now that sounds terrible. That sounds, oh my God, he wants me to run a marathon, or he wants me to go down to the gym and get on the treadmill for 3 hours. No, it doesn't have to be that hard. It can be as simple as walking. So get up and move. If jealousy comes up for you, focus on yourself. Greed, envy, jealousy. That just means you're not paying attention to who you are. Okay. You're a spiritual being having a human experience. And whatever somebody else has, do you really want that? Have you ever asked yourself those questions? With all these unknowns in the way, you really probably don't know what it is you want. You really don't know what you want your life to be. When you're feeling anxiety or anxious, just be more mindful. Be more mindful. Why are you feeling? Why are you feeling this? What's bringing this on? Sit, go inside, use the rainbow centering, go through the colors of the rainbow, get down to that main color and center yourself and just kind of push stuff away and become mindful and ask yourself, what's the anxiety about? And then wait to hear the answer. If you get irritated, widen your perspective. Widen your perspective. You came here to play a bigger game than the average person, or otherwise you wouldn't even be on this call. If you're tired, and a lot of us get really tired, okay, because we're putting up with a lot in this world right now, turn the phone off and go to sleep. It's okay. It's okay to rest. Sleep is where you rebuild and you recover. If you're uninspired, take a shower. That sounds wild, but it's not. It works. If you're uninspired, take a shower, engage all your senses. So Fred used to tell us stories. We'd say, Fred, how you do all this research? How you come up with all 9 manuals? How'd all this come about? He said, I get my best ideas in the shower. He used to tell us he'd stand in that shower, and as the water would move clockwise and go down the drain, it hit him in the head. And he'd just have idea after idea after idea. And that works. So take a shower if you're feeling uninspired. Self-doubt. If you're in a state of self-doubt, journal. And journal is probably the best thing you can do. I recommend you handwrite it out. Don't type it. There's something about the brain really coming online and connecting when you handwrite it out. But it allows a stream of consciousness to flow when you journal. The next is depressed. Depressed is easy. Walk in nature. Get outside. Go walk in the woods. Spend time with pets and friends. If you have a dog, take your dog for a walk. If you have a cat, pet your cat, or whatever you do with cats. I don't have cats, but spend time with pets and friends. Spend time in nature. Let this energy come up and out. Let it clear from the field. Okay. And the bottom line is, and this is probably something you should use the rest of your life, if it doesn't bring peace, profit, or purpose, then don't give it your time, energy, or attention.